Welcome to Tathastu ICS. I am Umang Khokar, the Current Affairs and Environment faculty, and today we will be discussing about a topic that has been in news from the past few weeks, that is the Blackbuck and the Bishnois. Now this topic has importance in your environment and ecology section, right? So from the exam point of view, we will try to cover the aspects which are more relevant for our exam. Okay, so beginning with the session, what are the key points which we will be discussing today? The first is why this has been in news, right? Not only the current news that was there after the death of the former NCP leader Baba Siddiqui, but also there were few articles on the same topic. So we'll cover that. Then what is the key difference between a deer and an antelope? That is something which is important for us to understand. Then what are the key facts about Blackbuck? What is the Blackbuck IUCN status? What are the protected areas where it is found? What is the government initiatives that are being taken for it, right? What are the major threats this species is facing? Then we'll be covering about the Bishnoi community. Now Bishnoi community has been considered as the earliest environmentalists, right? So they have been considered as warriors of ecological faith. So we'll understand what are the rules of or the principles of this Bishnoi community, who was the founder of this community, right? And why are they at the forefront of environmental conservation, and why specifically they are focusing on conserving a particular species, that is the Blackbuck, right? Then is there any UPSC PYQ related to this topic? So we'll cover that also, and also followed by a practice question for you, right? So this will be the 6 points which we will be discussing today in this session. So let's begin with it. Now coming to the topic, that why it has been in news. So we all have read the newspaper. So there was a tragic incident in which the former NCP leader, that's Baba Siddiqui, he was killed, right? Not going into the politics of this, not going into the other dynamics of this topic, there was a name that was in news, that's Lawrence Bishnoi, okay? And from that, what needs to be focused is Bishnoi, ठीक है? So ये बिश्नोइज कौन है, ये हमारे लिए इम्पोर्टेंट है, और ये ब्लैकबक को कंजर्व क्यों करना चाहते हैं, ठीक है? So now this was one context, okay? Then we also found that in the Down to Earth magazine, right? So there were 3 to 4 articles related to Blackbuck, and there were some different facts, there were some interesting facts that are important for us to know. For example, the Blackbuck has a mention in the Sangam literature, right? So it is known as Iralai Man in the Sangam literature. So how it has been featured here, that is one point you need to know. Then the Bishnois, Blackbuck and the Chinkara. What exactly were Guru Jambeshwar's principles? So regarding the Thar wildlife. So this has been a very current topic, and there were some key facts, key points which we need to understand. Okay, now this was something which was going on, ठीक है? इतने सारे newspapers में articles थे, lot of journalists were talking, but I found that many people, in fact many of the journalists were still confused with the thing, that they were confusing the terms deer and an antelope. So सबसे पहले important है हमारे लिए ये understand करना that what is the key difference between a deer and an antelope, right? So that's the image of a Blackbuck, right? Now let's see what is the difference between a deer and an antelope. Majority of the people think that दोनों same ही होते हैं, but no, there is a key difference between them. Although both of them belong to the aerodactyls, right? Means they are the organisms or the species that are hooved animals. Hooved animals means they put their weight on their toes, on their feet, right? Most of their majority of the weight, but their families are different. For example, deer belongs to the Cervidae family, and when we talk about an antelope, it belongs to the Bovidae family. Bovidae family also includes buffaloes, cows, right? Cattle, sheep, bison, and deer belongs to the Cervidae family. Then the major characteristic difference between both of them is that the deers have antlers which are branched. So they have branched antelliers, okay, and their antelliers are not present in the females. So antelliers are only in the males and the antelliers are branched. That is the major thing that is found in the deers, okay, and also they are shed regularly and they are regrown. When we talk about antelopes, antelopes do not have branched antelliers. They have unbranched antelliers like this, only two, right? So there are no subsequent branches in this and these are permanent ones. So they have permanent unbranched horns, okay, of the chitinous scale with the bony core, and horns are not shed. So that is the key difference you need to understand between the two, right? So branched and unbranched antelliers, okay. So this is one major difference. Isko padhne ke baad you should not get confused. Then how many species of antelopes are found in India? We have 6 antelope species in India. For example, we have the Tibetan antelope, Tibetan gazelle, nilgai, blackbuck, chinkara, chausinga. All these are antelopes. All these are antelopes, not deers. Okay, so this is the image of chausinga. It's the smallest antelope in India. Okay, and this is the image of nilgai. You all must have seen. So nilgai is the largest one, largest antelope. Okay, so India has 6 species of antelopes, and when we talk about deers, we have 12 species. We need not remember all of them. हमें वो 12 species याद करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. But we know very famous deer which we all know, that's sambar deer. So sambar deer जो है, that is the largest one. So the largest is the sambar deer, okay, and the smallest is the Indian mouse deer. So ये key difference है, आपको पता होना चाहिए. UPSC can play here, right? In one of these statements they can make you confuse, right? Now coming to blackbuck. So blackbuck is the considered as the epitome of the grasslands. So natively अगर आप देखेंगे तो semi arid areas जो हैं grass plains, उसमें it is majorly found, right? So what's the scientific name? It's antelope cervicapra, ठीक है, also known as the Indian antelope, and it is native to India and Nepal. And if we talk about the Indian subcontinent, it is found in 3 countries, that is India, Nepal and Pakistan. Okay, then it is found in Rajasthan, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, also the southern states. So Tamil Nadu it is also found, right, and Odisha and other regions of peninsular India also. Then it's a diurnal species. Diurnal means it is active during the day. So that is important because UPSC has a trend. It is now asking questions more on the behavioral aspects of the species. So that is important for us. अब हमें सिर्फ IUCN status नहीं पढ़ना है. We need to study the behavioral aspects of also of the species. So it's a diurnal species, means it is mostly active in the night, in the day, right? And it has been declared as the state animal of Punjab, Haryana and Andhra Pradesh, right? Now important for us is the protection status. So it has been granted as Schedule 1 in the Wildlife Protection Act. So of 1972, the Wildlife Protection Act, it is in the Schedule 1. Then IUCN status is least concern, and then CITES. CITES, it is in the Appendix 3. So this is something you have to remember for the exam. So ये तीनों चीजें आपको याद होनी चाहिए, ठीक है, कि शेड्यूल 1 ऑफ वाइल्ड लाइफ प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट साइटिस के अपेंडिक्स 3 में है, एंड IUCN स्टेटस एट प्रेजेंट इज लीस्ट कंसर्न. ओके, देन other major facts, the blackbuck has been featured in the Kurunthakoi, that is a collection of classic love poems from the Sangam literature. So this is one important fact that you can remember, right? It can be asked. Then also it has been the Vahan or the Vahan of the goddess Karavai. So goddess Karavai, the ancient Tamil goddess of war and hunting, she is depicted sitting on a blackbuck. So this is the image of goddess Karavai. So you can see this is the blackbuck, that's her Vahan. So this is also one historical fact about blackbuck. Okay, now what are the major protected areas? So majorly अगर हम देखते हैं तो जो हमारा ब्लैक बग्स है ये हमें ग्रासलैंड्स में पाए जाते हैं, ठीक है, जो हमारे ग्रासलैंड्स हैं, सेमी एरिड एंड एरिड रीजन्स के ग्रासलैंड्स, राइट. एंड इफ यू टॉक अबाउट द रिलेटेड प्रोटेक्टेड एरियाज, वी हैव वन इन गुजरात, दैट इज द वलवाडार ब्लैक बग सेंचुरी. Okay, that is one. Then we have one in Tamil Nadu, that's the Point Calumet sanctuary. So this is another protected area where you can find a black buck. And then we also have Tal Chhapar in Rajasthan, that is in Rajasthan. So these are the major 3 prominent protected areas related to black buck. And of course wherever the Bishnoi community is living, there are some particular regions. So there for example Kankania was a place that is a Bishnoi dominated area where the exact hunting or where the exact killing was done, as it is being said by Salman Khan. So this region is Bishnoi dominated region. There you can find black bucks, right? And of course other regions also. Prominent sanctuaries are these ones. Okay. And one important fact is that कि जो हमारे black bucks हैं, ठीक है, black bucks and the great Indian bustards, right, they share the same grassland ecosystem, ठीक है. But the key difference is that black buck is not found in the Thar desert, because black buck needs water, right? It needs surface water, so it cannot live without water for long. But if we compare it with the great Indian bustard, that's a bird. So great Indian bustard is a bird that is found in Thar desert also. Apart from that, it is a facultative drinker. Facultative drinker का मतलब ये होता है कि that can live without water. Okay, so whenever water is available, it will have it. Otherwise, it can live without water for long. So majorly अगर हम देखते हैं तो ग्रेट इंडियन बस्टर्ड्स एंड ब्लैक बक्स ऑलमोस्ट एक ही एनवायरनमेंट में आपको एक ही इकोसिस्टम सेटअप में मिलते हैं. बट ओनली एक्सेप्शन इज द थार डेजर्ट, because the black buck cannot live without the surface water. It needs water to drink at regular intervals. So that is one major thing. Also, what are the major threats? So when we talk about the threats the black bucks are facing, of course there are habitat destruction. Major threats ये तो हर species के लिए हो रहा है. Habitat destruction, deforestation, fragmentation of the habitat, right? Poaching, illegal hunting, that is ongoing. And also we have witnessed that there is a rapid new menace that has come, that is the dogs from the nearby villages. Also they are also causing a problem and they are also killing lot of black bucks and other deers also, antelopes also. So that is also one major thing. So majorly species के लिए habitat, these are the major threats which all species are facing. Okay, now let's quickly talk about the community, right? The Bishnois, why are they at the forefront of conserving these species? So we can have a glimpse of the pictures of the Bishnois. So you can see they are having a close relationship with the deers, with the black bucks, right? This is the picture from the Khejrali massacre that was happened. So we'll quickly understand what this Hindu religious sect is all about. Okay, so when I say Bishnois, they are found, this is an Hindu religious sect. So ये एक Hindu religious sect है, community है, right? And it is found primarily in the western Thar desert, right? And some northern states of India as well. Okay, so they trace their origin from whom? They trace their origin from the Guru Jambeshwar ji. Okay, so this is important for you to remember that Guru Jambeshwar ji is considered as the founder of this sect or this community, also known as Jambhoji, right? In 1541 he was born in Peepsar, that's in village in Nagaur district. Now his core teachings, what were his core teachings that led to the development of this community as a conservationist? So he focuses on compassion, equality, environmental responsibility. He has 120 shabads dealing with all these core teachings. That is not important for you to remember. You should just have a rough idea that their teachings included all these parameters, all these facts. For example, compassion, equality, environmental conservation. Specifically, if we see the Bishnois are governed by 29 principles. So the 29 principles अगर हम देखते हैं उसमें से 8 principles जो हैं they are specifically focusing on biodiversity conservation. So इनके जो 29 principles हैं which are given by Guru Jambeshwar ji, out of them 8 are focusing on what? Biodiversity conservation. For example, Rule 19 is strictly prohibiting the cutting of green trees. Then Rule 18 is promotes the compassion for all living beings. So these core teachings are reflected in the actions of this community, and they are very, very active and at the forefront with for conserving the nature and the wildlife around them. Okay, so that is one major thing. And why Chinkara and Blackbuck hold special significance for the Bishnois? First, because Guru Jambeshwar ji's teachings, I've already told you the rules which he has given, the principles which he has given, that is the one major thing, and which is emphasizing on this. Then they also have a spiritual connection with the Blackbuck. For example, they think of him, manifest it as a manifestation of the Guru Jambeshwar. So जो Blackbuck है उसको as a manifestation देखा गया है. It's considered as a manifestation of Guru Jambeshwar ji. So that is also one major reason why they considered this species as so sacred and why they are protecting it. Okay. Then we also have read about the Khijrali massacre 1730 that happened. So the Khijrali massacre 1730. So 363 Bishnois were martyred during the protection of khijri trees from being cut by the soldiers, and at that time the Maharaja was Maharaja Abhay ji. Okay, so he was there, Abhay Singh was there. So this community's commitment in conserving the nature was reflected in the Khijrali massacre also. And this is the image of the Khijrali tree, and this Khijrali tree is very important. Nitrogen fixing, it has an important role. Nitrogen fixing tree hai, so soil fertility mein it helps, right? Then it is also used to make a local dish that is very famous, sangri jisko kehte hain. Okay, so that is also one major fact about the Khijari tree. So Podospis cinerea, at least you should know the scientific name also, at least, because this has been in news. Now coming to the topic, important question. For example, now you can see how UPSC asks questions. कैसे questions पूछे जाते हैं? जैसे 2020 में पूछा है उन्होंने, which one of the following protected areas is well known for the conservation of a subspecies of the Indian swamp deer? That's the Barasingha, that thrives well on land, hard ground and exclusively graminivorous. So they've asked a question on deers and antelopes, and since this topic has been in news, you have to study about it. Okay, so this is one question. So the correct answer here is Kahna National Park, right? So the Barasingha or the Indian swamp deer, it's the state animal of Madhya Pradesh. Okay, so it is protected in the Kahna National Park. Then on the same context, there is a practice question for you, and you have to do it, attempt it very carefully. Consider the following statements regarding the Blackbuck and their conservation in India. So try to attempt this question, and you can give your answers in the comment box. Keep watching, keep learning. Thank you.